Zach, you want to start our intro? Zach?
Hey guys.
How come there's good, I like that. You want to be Zach?
And that's about all I could do with him.
Hey guys.
I don't know how accurate that one was. That's a skill I've always wanted, is to be able to perfectly imitate people. It'd be a powerful skill.
I think you have too loud of a voice though.
Why?
For most people, because most of the people that we hang out with, I'll have like these like real quiet.
They're soft spoken.
Soft, yeah. Like you're more announcing.
Yeah.
What's auditory? I guess that would be.
I project a lot.
I guess yeah. You have like,
and also my voice projects too.
Well, so I mean, I think your voice just naturally has a loud projection.
It does. When you're the oldest of 9 kids, you have to project your voice a lot.
I can imagine, especially at the breakfast table, trying to ask for someone to pass the food.
Exactly.
I can't imagine. How you doing, Matt?
I'm good. How's Zach doing?
Who are you?
Oh, I'm Matt. Who are you?
I'm Ryan.
And who is that?
That's an empty chair.
Oh, poor Zach. I'm gonna miss him. You know.
What? There's a.
I'm gonna miss him. You know.
I'm gonna miss him too. What happened to him? Do you know?
I think he died.
Oh man, not again.
Yeah, the acid, dude.
This is like the acid.
Yeah.
Oh, I never thought he would be an acid guy. But
yeah, I thought he was MDMA all the way.
You thought he was a what?
MDMA all the way.
Oh yeah, probably.
But you know, you never think about someone in terms of their drugs until they're gone.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I guess you're right. I do look at people and wonder what drugs they take.
You're right. You don't think about it until they die of an overdose.
That is an average thing. I look at people and I'm like, I wonder.
He's got a business suit. It's definitely coke for him.
Yeah. Is that how you define people? People aren't even names to you.
They're in tiers of drugs.
That's when you look at people and they come in, it's like, hey, Coke boy, what's going on? Is that just all it is
Coke
to you?
the top?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not asking you to rate it. I'm just saying, do you?
But top earners do coke. But then somewhere in the middle, you've got like heroin.
Probably
then
not.
Lower down, it's meth, and then below that's
I would say
crack.
no. I would say at the top, because they're all rich people. It's probably no. Coke is probably up there.
Yeah.
Where's ayahuasca go into that? Do you know where ayahuasca?
No.
You know what that is?
No.
Well, I know you can go to. I think it's Florida now. You can go to Florida, and you like sign up for like a weekend trip. It's like a weekend spa, but instead you just sit around in a circle and do ayahuasca, and then you throw up. Here's because we watched a documentary on Netflix. Here's what the steps of ayahuasca are for you.
Okay.
You sit in a circle with a bunch of people all in white that you don't know. Tell me what part of this starts to sound like a cult.
It already does. But carry on.
You all sit around, and there's like a guy who leads it. You're all in the and basically
again cult.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He leads it.
Wait. Question.
Yes.
Do you give him money?
Yes.
Okay. Very cult. Yeah.
Okay. So he leads it, and he like guides you through the trip. What he calls the trip through the ayahuasca.
But it's not like a drug trip. It's like a trip through your mind.
So what happens is you take ayahuasca, and I think from what I saw, it's all like they drink it. Like it becomes a liquid, but it's like some kind of thing down in.
It's almost like a peyote type thing.
Kind of. So it's like South. I think it's in South America is where like they use it for healing. Like you can go to like a monk in the woods and they will give it to you and it like heals you.
Why? Because they don't really have mountains in South America?
Well, because they don't have medicine other than just drugs.
Understandable.
So you take you drink it, and then everyone's just like, I'm not feeling it. And then as soon as someone says I'm not feeling it, everyone starts throwing up. It makes you throw up, and that's like the idea. Like it makes you throw up all of the badness, or you're just taking a poison. Your body's trying to get rid of it. But drugs,
there's
drug logic. But they
suffice to say, Zach's dead.
Right. But after you throw up the ayahuasca, then you start tripping, and people say like, man, I've never felt closer to like my life. I'm like, but you're alive. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But okay. They're like, you wouldn't understand till you did it. I was like, or you could grow up and have a coke habit like an adult. That's what I think.
That is the big revelation of being an adult, is realizing that there's two kinds of there's two kinds of adults: those that do coke and those that lie about it.
Right. No. Yeah. I agree. I completely agree.
So many adults I've met. How did this become a drug podcast?
It's not. We just got. Man, I learn about dumb things all the time. It's you know what it is. It's because I watch the Joe Rogan podcast.
I see.
Every third word out of Joe's mouth is like has something to do with psychedelics. Like what's the one that is produced in your brain?
Dopamine,
yeah.
Serotonin or
the dopamine, I think. But it's always just like, man, if you take like dopamine, you know, like I figured out how to be a good person from taking dopamine. I was like, or something died in your brain and you're having problems, or you just have FU money and you have no problems to be angry.
It turns out when you have that much money, it's a lot harder to get in trouble for doing drugs.
Right.
Because drug laws aren't there for rich people.
But I love Joe.
They're there for poor people.
Yeah. I think that Joe Rogan's like not drug problem, but his drug thing that he does is like his cop out to use the excuse like I'm an idiot, so don't listen to anything I say.
Right.
Also, masks don't work. like
he's
just saying
he's
like,
something.
Yeah, I use I'm an idiot all the time. That's how I get away with saying stupid crap on this podcast all the time.
I'm an idiot, but I'm also a bigger idiot when I'm on drugs.
Anyway, this is pop culture unboxing.
It is pop culture unboxing. Pop culture.
First thing. Want to talk to you about.
All right, we got an itinerary. Let's go.
I forgot to show it to you before we started this, but that's okay. It's only like a 30-second clip. So let's just get out of the way. 30-second teaser trailer just got shown off last week. We missed it. It happened on the day we record the podcast. So we missed it. But for The Witcher 2, season 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've been meaning to do a rewatch of the season 1 because I don't remember a whole lot about it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, should we pause this and
no, that's
watch
okay.
it?
We can watch after. I rewatched it multiple times and tried to like do research and piece together what like the important stuff of it.
Yeah,
because all it is just like an announcement.
Yeah, that's what a lot of them are.
So, one of the things in it, the way it opens up, we see Siri because it's all about her.
Makes sense.
She's the only person you see in it. She still has like her blanket and cloak, and they show her like looking at this like cloak or blanket or whatever with like the sigil of her kingdom. But one of the big things it shows like we see her in like this room, and with like a bunch of ancient weapons and relics. Which in the background you get to see this like weapons rack, which was actually a photo taken from the official Witcher account a while back during on the set, and. In that quote, they said, "Today you've chosen destiny. Honor the Witchers who came before. Now look around and let your curiosity explain," which was just like a few pictures of it. So this tells us that she is in the stronghold of Kaer Morhen.
She's already learning how to be a Witcher?
Yeah. So at one point we see her
moving.
So at one point we see her training with a sword. So it's like, okay, she's being trained by somebody. The good thing with this is this will indicate. With all of this now indicates we're moving out of like the original short stories, like the individual short stories, and we're getting into like the main Witcher timeline. Which, if anyone's wondering, it starts in a book called Blood of Elves.
Wow,
that's
an aggressive title.
Yeah, and then it shows like a bunch of like scenes of like sites, locations of like what we're gonna see. And then we see like the new and improved Nilfgaardian armor from the back. We don't see who's in the armor, but we just get to see it. The big takeaway is like the trailer doesn't give us any shots of Geralt or Yen, but we don't really know what's going to happen yet. You can expect there's probably going to be more information for Netflix's newly announced WitcherCon that they're going to host in July 9th.
Okay.
I think it's just like a live stream of like, this is what to expect from Witcher stuff.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do all these big companies know what the con means when they say blank con?
No, not anymore.
Yeah.
No, because we're slowly going to a world that's all digital.
Yeah, that's true. How long before we're going to conventions in VR?
Well, we don't go to conventions anymore now.
No, someone's already doing it. I think Bungie is. They're having a VR convention.
I believe it. There's already VR conventions right now, and it's literally called VR Chat.
Well, yeah,
that's
this
big
one's
convention.
for GCX, I think. Or no, not G. Yeah, GCX. I think GCX.
I'm not familiar.
I forget what it is. I forget. It used to stand for Guardian Con, but they changed the name when it started doing a lot more than Destiny stuff.
Right.
And this time they're doing like a virtual space station, and they're hiding like dead ghosts around it that you can find. And if you find all of them, you get a prize.
Well, I'm glad I have a VR headset. I'm going to do that. Yeah. That sounds cool.
I don't know if it is going to be VR. It might just be like a program or you download or something, but still,
it's
a step in the right direction.
What if it is a program that you download and your hunter or like your Destiny character of your choice plays, and you basically play as a Destiny character walking through a convention. It's like you went to a random space station in the middle of in like the galaxy, and like you have a quest to go check out what's going on, and it's just like a hangout, a new.
We're moving closer and closer
like,
to Spy Kids 3D Game Over.
Yeah, it sounded like you almost forgot the D there.
I did almost.
That's exciting because can you imagine? It sounds like Destiny or Bungie should hire me. I have some ideas.
Go to their website and apply. Do it, coward. You won't.
I won't. You're right.
Oh,
That's the one that won't. I accept.
So yeah, Witcher's gonna be cool. I'm sure. The first season was good, not great, but good. And what's his name always has a fun time.
Did you really? Wait, you said it wasn't great?
It wasn't great, but it was good.
Oh, you didn't. Oh, okay. I thought you meant like you didn't like it.
I did not. I did not like it.
Okay, I misunderstood.
I kept bringing it up as an example of a show that like it kind of proves the point that not every show has to be phenomenal and mind blowing. Right. It can just be a good show.
Yeah,
and that's what that is.
So yesterday, unless you. Also, this is also something that we actually just watched it yesterday. Unless you are somehow in the past and are standing in this room recording with us, it was 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
The Star Trek show Picard season 2, it released a trailer.
Yeah, which Ryan knew about before I did.
Yes, but I don't know what's going on. So it seemed like there's some important stuff. So we watched it together, and I don't know what's going on. So basically, if you would please, I can see you're looking it up. Will you break this trailer down here for me and just tell me why is QAnon attacking Mr. Picard? Wait, did Star Trek predict QAnon before?
Star Trek takes place 300 years in the future.
Okay, well, maybe 300 years. They believe QAnon was going to happen then.
Well, so you're talking about John Delancey's character Q, I assume?
Yes.
Because
all I know,
the letter Q.
Yeah, the only reason I know his name Q. Well, that's what they say. Like when the QAnon stuff, they would always say like, well, Q knows what's going on. Like Q's gonna save us all.
Kind of sucks being a Star Trek fan having that kind of co-opted.
Yep. Sorry about that.
Q.
But what if Picard's trying to save the word Q?
What do you know about Q?
I know nothing. Jon Snow.
You don't. Through culture osmosis, you've never heard.
I have not.
Okay, Q is.
The letter Q
is a character in Star Trek Next Generation, one episode of Deep Space Nine, and several episodes of Voyager, played by John Delancey. He is an all-powerful god character.
Okay.
His species have absolute control of time and space. And he likes to hang out with Picard sometimes.
Right.
And kind of mess around and have shenanigans. So he snaps his fingers and reality change. White flash and like there was
Oh, so he's not a villain?
He's an antagonist a little bit. He's more of an annoyer. He's
like they played it off like he was a villain.
No, they did not in this. Picard thinks he's a villain, but he's more just playful.
Yeah, but they did that thing where it's just like, what is going on? And he's just like, he said something, John Luke, and then they like played that dramatic like, he was the villain, like they do in any.
No, he's not. He messes with Picard, but he's not a villain. He has a fascination in humanity. There's theories that the Q are humans from the distant future, because he makes that comment to Riker at one point. Because there's an episode, I think the second time he appears, he decides he's going to pick someone to take under his wing, and it's Riker, and he gives him all the powers of a Q, and takes him to the Q continuum where they live.
Man, I'm sorry, guys.
Because he's not the only Q. They're all called Q.
I understand. It's just so hard not to like put it with like all the powers of Q. He's like, so he's saving children. I wish Zach was here because Zach would get all of the ridiculousness of the idea of there's a character called Q. Yeah. We're literally living in a world where someone called Q exists, supposedly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just funny. I'm just trying to think. It's like he gave him all the powers of saving kids from underground things. But
yeah, he has some fun adventures like that where he tries to give Riker Q powers. There's an episode of, I forget if it's Next Generation or Voyager, where the rest of the Q get upset with him because he's annoying them. Mm-hmm. And so they send him to either Enterprise or Voyager without his powers. And he's just a normal human. And he has to live like that. And He doesn't like it. There's another episode of Voyager where he insists that Catherine Janeway have a baby with him because the Q need a new Q around. And they just know he's like,
what many QAnon members say every day.
It's a disgusting idea of him to breed with another Q. End of the episode, she convinces him to do it, and so a new Q is born.
Like many QAnon people.
And then later on, Q brings his adolescent son, who's also infinite age, but he's a boy, brings him to Janeway and says, I need you to babysit him. He's a menace. And she has to try to babysit an all-powerful godchild until Q comes and takes away his powers. Jesus. And says, all right, you got to learn how to be with humans without using your powers. And then they discipline the boy, and then he gets his powers back, and he's a good kid.
Boy.
Wow. So yeah, Q is a trickster god almost.
Cool. Well, after watching this trailer, are you excited? Because I remember our discussions about season 1, and it left you and me both in like a sour taste.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Because I was like, this show kind of sucks.
Yeah, this one looks interesting. I'm curious how much it's going to tie into All Good Things, which was the 2-parter that ended Next Generation. Mm-hmm. And in it, Q essentially is showing Picard maybe it was Tapestry. Some of Tapestry, some of All Good Things. In All Good Things, Picard is jumping between 3 different times. The first episode of Next Generation, when he's on the ship for the first time with a crew of people he's almost never met. Mm-hmm. The present, and then the future, when he is retired and almost kind of senile, and his friends are all scattered around the galaxy,
which is kind of season 1.
And all 3 Picards are dealing with an issue of this energy that's expanding throughout the universe, but is expanding backwards.
Right.
And so he's got to figure out how to coordinate all 3 enterprises to stop this thing. And it's kind of Q orchestrating it all and trying to help Picard through it.
Right.
It gets more confusing because because Q shows up in the very first episode of Next Generation. And he is putting mankind on trial for all of their crimes. But he's kind of he's trying to find a good human and find if any humans are good. And they prove him right that there are good humans. And then the final episode is him saying basically the trial never ended. So let's conclude it now. Are you willing to sacrifice all these people to save the universe?
Wow.
And then he shows up again throughout Voyager but yeah, he's
so it looks like in the trailer there's like a flashback scene. It looks like
because
there's like a younger him scene.
So here's what I'm willing to bet is that this is Q essentially putting Picard into a different timeline, showing him what could have been had these things changed. That Picard didn't change. That these things happened, but Q's showing him what could have been.
Oh, okay.
Or he even took him to another universe where those things didn't happen or did happen. And now they've got to find a way to get back to the real universe.
That might be because they show that one pilot. Because the pilot from the first season never wanted to be a part of the.
Yeah, it starts with an R.
Yeah, whatever.
Or his ship does. I forget. Rios.
Yeah, they show him at one point with the symbol on his
the Starfleet badge.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the flashback is some event that. I mentioned the episode Tapestry.
Right.
It had been established several seasons beforehand that toward the end of his academy days, Picard went to a bar with his friends, and they would go there quite a while. And at one point, his friend got into a bet with a Nausicaan. Nausicaans are well-known pirates. Their species does a lot of pirating. They're real nasty. They're ill-tempered. And he gets into a bet with one, and he tries to cheat him. And the Nausicaan's like, I'm going to kill you. And so Picard jumps in front of him and gets stabbed through the heart. And when he's telling the story to begin with, he mentions that he fell to his knees and started laughing. And then that's why, and at that point in the show, when he's doing the flashback, it explains why he has an artificial heart, which is something he's always had.
Picard has. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, now he doesn't because he's an android. But anyway, so Tapestry revisits that, and it has him talking to Q about I forget how they get onto the subject of it, but he's like, I want to go. I wish I could have gone back. I could have not done that. I wish I could have just not gone to the bar that night. And Q's like, all right, let's do that then. And so he creates his alternate timeline and throws Picard back into the past, into the academy.
Wow, it sounds like the TVA would not like this Q guy.
Huh?
Sounds like the TVA would not like this Q guy.
And well, it's an alternate timeline.
Right.
And so he gets that chance. He gets thrown a couple days ahead of time. He manages to avoid the fight, but he loses his friends in the process because they're like, when did you turn into such a square? And then he gets to flash forward to the present if he had made that choice. And he's some lowly officer, a lonely, spineless officer on the Enterprise, walking up to Riker and asking for a performance review, basically. And Riker's like, you don't take initiative. You don't take risks. You don't put yourself out there. You just do what's safe. And it essentially teaches them the lesson of like, yeah, you look back now and you see a foolhardy young boy almost getting himself killed, but that thing made you who you are today.
Right.
It taught you that about taking risks and making mistakes, and it made you who you are. And so I feel like there's going to be some of that in this season where it's Picard almost kind of forgetting that lesson. Now that it's been 20, 30 years since he learned that lesson, kind of forgetting it. And Q saying, like, look, these decisions that you think are bad, they're essential to making you who you are today. And so that's probably what the flashback is going to be related to. Is him wishing he had said something different maybe on stage about the Romulans that maybe might have motivated Starfleet to do more to try to save them. But saving more Romulans caused all these problems down the line.
Now you're saying this is what you think is going to happen in this season. Okay.
Maybe. Or they do something completely different. Because it would, at that point, it would feel like they're just retreading Tapestry.
Yeah.
But it was a really cool episode. So...
yeah, really cool episode, but do you think it could be a really cool season?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And Q, and it doesn't really matter what they do, because Q, his interaction with Picard is just fun.
Yeah.
Like, they mess with each other, and toward the end, Picard plays into it a little bit more. Because that's part of the growth of his character throughout Next Generation, is that he goes from this real stuck-up guy who just follows the rules, and he's kind of absent for his crew. Like, he's there to lead them. The best way I heard it put is that he's a distant leader. He will put himself in danger for his crew, but he doesn't go and hang out with them when they play poker. All the rest of the senior staff play poker together a lot. Yeah. And the last shot of the series is them getting a knock at the door, and it's Picard joining them to play poker.
So not because I don't want to keep us in like a Star Trek tangent. We have a lot of more to talk about. So final notes on it. Do you think are you excited for this after seeing it, or are you just like,
if season one had been better, I'd be more excited for it.
Are you still going to give it a chance, though?
Of course.
Okay.
Q's just fun. He's just so much fun to watch. He only showed up in one episode of Deep Space Nine, and the one where he started messing with Sisko, and Sisko just punched him in the face. And Q's like, looks down, he's like, Jean-Luc never punched me. I'm not Jean-Luc.
Jeez.
It's important to note that Sisko hates Jean-Luc Picard because he blames him for the death of his wife and kid, or his wife, just his wife.
Oh.
And so... he likes not being like Jean-Luc.
Okay.
And then Janeway just doesn't put up with Q's crap.
So, in this show, I don't think we have a release date. Did it have a release date? Do you remember?
Not that I saw. 2022.
Okay, so that will come out in 2022 on Paramount Plus.
Yep.
Another thing that came out on Paramount Plus that you just happened to mention to me, you saw Rugrats. Rugbats. The Rugrats
reboot. I watched a couple episodes of it. Yeah. It's fun. I used to love Rugrats as a kid.
So you said like the one difference, so I didn't watch it, but I saw a review of it. And I kind of agree that the idea of like the parents and grandfather being shifted. The one thing that they mentioned they didn't like is who is the girl that's usually opposite to
Susie.
Yeah.
Opposite to Angelica.
Yeah. Angelica, apparently, like, Susie is younger than Angelica in this version now. So, like, Angelica now rules.
Yeah. It used to be that they were the same age, so Susie could talk to the adults, and now she can't. From what I was looking at, it looks like the reason they did it is just so that they can't fall back on Susie just going and telling the adults that Angelica's being a dick.
Right.
So other than that, there's no other real, and plus I think they wanted her to be able to interact with the other kids a little more organically, which makes sense.
Right.
She's a more interesting character and they don't have, if you watched a lot of later Rugrats, they don't have Dill or Kimmy.
Oh, really? Okay.
Kimmy was Chucky's adopted sister.
Right.
So
that movie made me cry. Do you remember that movie?
Rugrats in Paris?
Yeah. I cried every moment as a kid to the idea of like Chucky looking out, because they have that sad song where he's looking out the plane and like the clouds, they form his mother. I'm like, that's unbelievably
Speaking
sad.
of that, that's the one thing that kind of bugs me. Chaz is real creepy in this one version. There's something about his voice.
Oh, really?
He has kind of a creepy voice.
I'll
in this.
have to give this show a try. I didn't even know this was coming
The adults,
out.
and it's interesting. The adults basically they're the same age. Everyone in the show is the same age. They basically just shifted everything up 20 years.
Right, because Grandpa, instead of being a World War II veteran, is now a hippie because he grew up in the 60s.
Yeah.
And like Chaz, or no, what's the main, what's their, Dee Dee and
Stu.
Stu's
a
like a
gamer.
gamer.
But he does some inventing.
Right. So like they kept all that, but they made it also what we would be as adults having kids. Right.
Basically, yeah.
That to me, so that I feel when you reboot a series, that's almost like in my opinion, a perfect way to do it, because you're still giving us, the people that grew up with Rugrats as kids, something, but now you're also giving kids so it's like if we sat down and watched it with our kids, you could be giving a new so that's entertaining.
I think it's not like something like Star Wars: The Clone Wars,
right,
where you as an adult can go and watch it and be completely satisfied. The Rugrats is definitely more of a young kids show where you as an adult can watch it with your kid and enjoy it,
right,
but you probably don't want to go watch it by yourself,
right? But that's probably what I would assume. That's why they chose to do with the parents, is they gave us something to relate to. So when we are sitting down watching it, because I don't know, like
they did an episode about Marie Kondo basically.
Oh, really?
There's this woman, I forget what they call her, but Dee Dee wants her to come and get rid of the clutter in their life. And so she comes in and she starts throwing things away. And she's like, oh, you don't need... Basically goes in the kitchen and throws away everything. And so the baby's reaction is, they're taking away our parents' stuff.
Right.
And so they want to try to stop her. And then some of their toys get taken away. And then they come to realize that it's a front for them to steal stuff from people's houses.
Wow.
So she gets arrested.
Oh, man.
But it was really funny. I'm watching it. I'm like, oh my God, this episode's all about the Marie Kondo thing.
I have to, maybe I'll give that show a try.
Yeah, it's fun.
I just wanted to mention, because you said you watched it, and I had no idea that was something that was going on.
I watched, I think, the first 4 or 5 episodes just to get a feel for it.
I want to talk something else. Finally, Zach texts me, says, I will not make it. I'll be back for next week's episode. Thanks.
So he's alive?
Yes.
Yay!
So he is alive. One thing that I wanted to kind of to mention here, what did I want to mention?
I don't know.
Series that we watched as a kid. You just showed me
that
something that they're also making another reboot for Netflix, or Netflix is rebooting it.
Yeah.
And I agree with the JoJo vibes you got into it. You just showed me the trailer for Masters of the Universe Revelations.
Not to be confused with Alien or Matrix. Oh wait, no. Never mind.
Matrix Reloaded?
Matrix Revolutions is what I was thinking
the animated thing. Yeah, okay.
And then, anyway.
I remember that. Well, I remember it, but I don't want to remember it.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
But that's kind of cool. You know what? So when you first said, my immediate assumption to the idea that they were rebooting Masters of the Universe kind of had me in this idea, like, are they like making a comedy out of it? Because did you ever notice that seems to be like all of the serious stuff as kids, they're rebooting them in comedy format?
Yeah.
So I kind of was just like, wow, the jokes that you could tell with like Skeletor stuff could be real. I was like, that would be exciting. But this does not look like a comedy. This looks like it's a real thing. Still cool though.
Yeah,
Still
it looks so cool.
Looks incredible.
It looks cooler than it has any right to be.
Right.
Like,
it looks like they're using their anime studio to do it, but
Yeah.
they're not doing the CGI anime. It looks like it's like
some of it was.
Yeah, but I mean,
A little bit of it was.
So there's like,
Thank God, by the
full
way.
CGI anime. Sometimes it looks bad because it's all that. Like Ruby is a show.
Yeah, I watched some of that as a youngin.
Yeah, so I like you can do CGI anime and still make it look hand drawn.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like this is doing. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it just looks cool,
right?
And they use I Need a Hero really well in the trailer, and I'll post a link to all these in the show notes.
Yeah,
I'm kind of hyped for this.
Yeah, I mean it looks cool.
Did you know what else Netflix is making? Cuphead show.
I knew that. I did know that actually.
The trailer didn't show a whole lot, but
yeah, I didn't. The trailer was just that one, the gambler dude just
I forget what he's called.
Yeah.
But running a game show.
The thing about being a hero, and we'll talk about it here in a little bit more, but that's like the fourth or fifth thing I have heard in the trailer, where their trailer is I need a hero. Like,
okay,
for Guardians of the Galaxy, it makes sense because Guardians of the Galaxy game, it makes sense.
Don't get your hopes up about a trailer yet.
Yeah, but like, that's not happening.
Oh, speaking of movies, quick aside, I saw a headline somewhere that Paul Rudd just confirmed that they are currently filming Ant-Man 3.
Yes, they are.
There's no much more to be said about that. I just remembered it. But.
No, I mean, there's a lot of cool little Marvel news that I was a little iffy to talk about. Like, I was iffy because one, I can't confirm any of it, so don't ask me for sources. Okay. But like Matthew Murdock, so like someone. Yeah, so
I've heard this one. I think
so. The only reason that this one's a little bit more believable to me is one, like it makes sense. It makes sense for what they would be doing, and also this has been around. Like the idea that this was going to happen is Spider-Man 3. Matthew Murdock is going to be in it from the Netflix series.
Charlie Cox.
Yeah, and he's going to be playing that Matthew Murdock,
which would be cool.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, that one to me oddly is more believable than some of the like Andrew Garfield and stuff like that. But remember how I said about the Andrew Garfield interview and he talked about werewolf?
Yeah.
So I went back and just rewatched it. Was like, I want to rewatch that and see if I understand. I take it back. He's definitely in this film.
Okay.
So after like really thinking about it and really watching it, where the werewolf thing comes out, right, is the guy asks him, he's like, so yes or no, you're not going to be in this film is what you're saying. Like it's not going to happen. So instead of just saying no, he goes into a big tangent about, I was like, well, I mean, like, I don't know. It's like, as I said, they would have called me, I guess. But, and he's like, but like, it's like the game Werewolf. You ever played the Werewolf? And I'm like, so just say no. And the tangent is like a good 3-minute long tangent, and he never says no. And then by the end of it, they just move on to the next question. He never says no. So I was like, oh yeah, so he's in this. Like there's some shenanigans going on.
Yeah. Why don't more celebrities lie about it and just say no, I'm not in this?
I don't know.
I don't either.
So that's the point. That's why I bring it up right now. Is because you're like, why? I wonder if it's like it's in like the contract. Like, what if he is lying? Like it's like it's a power play. Sony requested him to do this to make people think he's going to be in it, or he is going to be in it. But like the press, this is allowing more press. So they probably told him, was like, don't lie, act like you're not in it though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because the thing is, like, when you think, even if you were Andrew Garfield, you would have the know-it-all to not be so blatantly obvious that you're hiding something. If you were not, like, if you're not in this unless someone told you to, like, if you are in something and you don't want to tell anybody, you can easily just say like, yeah, I mean, I'm not that I'm aware of, or like, no, I'm not that I'm told. Something like that. Like, but in this case, he never even says that. It's just he goes into this long tangent about, like, werewolf, you try to tell everyone you're not the werewolf by telling people you're not the werewolf. It's like, well, actually, you don't want to say anything, because usually if you keep telling people you're not the werewolf, you're the werewolf.
Yeah.
So
it's actually surprisingly hard to find an article about this.
But there was
in the picture, for some reason, the picture of Benedict Cumberbatch in Star Trek Into Darkness, but whatever.
But basically what I would say is, like, the Charlie Cox thing, why that's so interesting is this guy who posted this information had some screenshots that are hard to fake, because they had that like crappy, they were filmed, because the guy said he used to work for Sony, and he saw the rough cut without the features on it, and some of the screenshots are pretty fascinating. But there's even like, and how they play it off is like, all of the character, like why all these characters, all these like Norman Osborn's Green Goblin is going to be in this and stuff like that. They kind of, it makes sense. Like the way this dude played out the whole list, which I'm not going to talk about here because I don't, in case he is telling the truth, that there's a lot of spoilers. But the only thing I will say is like, if there are 3 Spider-Men, the third one will not show up till like into like the third or fourth section. Like if you cut the film into one in like the fourth, towards the end of the film, which is like, that makes more sense than just like, cause if what this guy is saying is like the film's going to be 3 hours long. So I was like, well,
that'll make sense.
I was like, if it's 3 hours long, that fits a little bit better with all these characters a little bit.
When are we supposed to get a trailer?
So that's the other thing. E3 just happened, right?
Yeah.
And why that's going to circle around, which I'll explain. There was a lot of evidence pointing that in the next, like between last week, the week before, or no, last week, this week, and next week, we're going to find something out. Something's going to happen. So the reason that we don't have anything yet is Disney needs to find something to put a trailer with.
Yeah.
And usually how Disney does their trailers is they release a trailer to go with a film, so they can put it in like the trailers at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
Before the film starts. So one thing that people think is whatever the next Marvel film. So I think it's Black Widow in July. We will most likely see a trailer in July.
Yeah.
Because we have to, because the film comes out in, if not July,
December
August,
17th.
Yeah. So I think there's not a lot of time. Now, granted, that's not a problem.
But they've been known not to advertise some movies until pretty close to release.
Right. So, but there's still evidence that points that we may see it next. We could see it this week or next week.
Yeah.
The truth is, the sad truth is we're not going to know. It's just going to show up one day. It's going to show up one day, and I'm going to be the first one to to say we need to talk about it on the show, because if there's any trailers I'm excited to break down,
that one's going to be
that's going to be the one I'm so excited to take a bite size. I'm excited to talk about that one. But why I said E3 happened this weekend is because something happened at E3 for the Avengers game. As you know, I've been playing the Avengers game.
I'm sorry.
They announced it again. I used to agree. I'm sorry, but I don't anymore.
No?
I have had more fun with this game. I'm having a lot of fun with the game. Yeah. It's really fun now. Only because if there's anything that the story's good. Kate Bishop is my main right now, is the character I'm low up. Unbelievably fun to play. And Hawkeye is unbelievably fun to play. So
he's the bow guy. He's supposed to be lame, Ryan.
I'm sorry.
You're not supposed to like him.
Basically, Black Panther they showed the Black Panther trailer.
Oh yeah, the pay to win one, right?
The what?
The paywalled character, right?
No.
Oh, I thought you had to pay to get him.
So they're doing it like Destiny. So they're releasing them as expansions. They make all their money from cosmetics now.
Okay.
So what? And I guess that's the play right now.
Yeah.
But they announced that. But there was other things that were announced at E3, and that's why I said a lot of people had believed that we were going to hear a lot about Spider-Man was going to launch with all the, because a lot of Marvel information was coming out.
Yeah.
As the Ant-Man and the Wasp, we got leaked set photos of Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
Which more.
Oh, there was the promotional picture too that showed.
Right. So everyone was just they must be going to show a Spider-Man, because also we were expecting to see Spider-Man at E3 because we thought we were going to get Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Man is coming to the Avengers game. So
I have a question.
What?
what if they're gonna pull a big switcheroo on us, and Spider-Man No Way Home is actually a Doctor Strange movie, and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is actually a Spider-Man movie, and it's the biggest rug pull ever.
That'd be clever. The guy that wrote Doctor Strange also wrote Loki, so it's possible.
And so, and then when people ask, "Oh yeah, you should see the Spider-Man trilogy. It's Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home, and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness." Don't you mean Spider-Man No Way Home? No, that's part of the Doctor Strange trilogy.
Yeah. That would look really weird if you put them all in a trilogy order on your shelf of the DVDs. Like, it would look like you're playing a trick.
Oh, dude, collectors would have a stroke.
Yeah. But other things released, E3. I was almost certain you were not going to let me talk about E3 on here.
What else was we going to talk about?
I don't know. I just didn't think you were going to let me talk about it.
I didn't see many trailers. The only ones I saw were the ones for the Avatar game, which, let me put this in perspective for you. The movie that this game is based on, children that were born that year are going to be starting high school this year.
Right.
So you might be a little late there.
Do you know there's 6 films? There's going to be 6 films.
We're going to have a real George R.R. Martin on our hands here.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Yeah. Well, speaking of George R.R. Martin, the first thing on my list of stuff to talk about that we finally got, the George R.R. Martin and From Software's game we just got a trailer called Elden Ring. We finally got revealed gameplay, and shocker, it looks like Dark Souls 4.
Okay, yeah.
Looks like it's just Dark Souls with horses. That's the one takeaway.
Oh, yeah.
It's Dark Souls with horses.
Yeah,
now.
But we're like Dark Souls, but we don't have Monster Hunters. We're not like Ghost of Tsushima. We don't have vampires. Or was that Sekiro?
Sekiro. Well,
or we don't have katanas.
Sekiro.
Yeah.
Sekiro, that was...
We don't... But we're not Jedi Fallen Order. We don't have Star Wars. But we've got George R. Martin. Yeah, we sure do. Come play our game.
I heard someone on Reddit talking about as like, who you think would be the first person to put a Starbucks cup in it? Like, you know that they've got...
Yeah.
Like, you're missing out if you don't put a Starbucks cup mistake in there somewhere. But it was an Easter egg. So that was it looks cool. Dark Souls 4.
Yeah.
If you like Dark Souls. Starfield. We got a Starfield video. So it's like a kind of just like a... See, here's the question. You know how like we always ask at the end of like E3 is like, who won E3? Did Xbox,
From
PlayStation?
what I heard, it was Xbox all the way this E3.
No, nobody won.
Wow.
2022 won. We, the gamers, did not win. We lost.
Yeah, that's
because
usual.
everything is coming out in 2022. Like, this is the first time what we're seeing like this summer. Not going to be a lot coming out.
Yeah,
so
that's unfortunate.
Hope you're ready. Starfield showed up. That's Bethesda's RPG, basically Skyrim in the sky, but it looks a little bit better.
Oh, that was the big disappointment I heard, is that there was no Skyrim release mentioned.
No.
So,
They're finally letting it go. Because they don't have any more platforms to release it on unless they start going backwards and being like, this is the Atari version.
Your Nintendo DS.
Yeah.
Your Samsung Smart Fridge can play.
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing that was cool about this game looks good. Looks way better than any normal game that they have Bethesda's ever created.
I'm sure that all their pre-rendered... I'm sorry, that sibilance was really high for me. I don't know why.
They said... this is actually running, like Tom Howard admitted that this is running in in-game engine.
Right. They always say that.
Well, that's the he said that. He said, I promise you that's what's happened. It's like, yeah, but you also promised a lot with Fallout 76 and look where we are.
Yeah.
So
I don't believe a word you're saying out
hold
there.
it, whatever you want to think. So that was now Zelda Breath of the Wild 2.
Really? That's what they're calling it.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild 2.
They're not going to have some name like...
But now Link has a cool Winter Soldier arm. That's basically what it looks like.
Are they really like? Isn't Zelda known for like always having some new title? Like you don't get Ocarina of Time 2.
Yeah,
you get some new name, and now they're just going Breath of the Wild 2.
This one's breaking the mold because it takes place in the same. Which they can't really say that because Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask both take place in the same film or same game universe.
Yeah.
or same year timeline or whatever. But this one's called Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild 2.
That's so lazy.
A 2022 release window. Nothing. It was cool. Now you get to. There's now a, like sky. There's stuff. There's
Whatever.
sky stuff. So you get to hang.
I never
out.
even finished the first game.
Yeah. So, and then next on my list, the Square Enix game that plays I Need a Hero is the Guardians of the Galaxy game.
Yeah.
Which weirdly, so everyone that's talking about this keeps saying that we knew this was coming. I didn't. I missed that.
Yeah.
Which again, all the stuff that Google pings me for, no wonder. I realized I set Google alerts to ping me when certain words appear, like when it finds new articles with new, and I have 563 pings one day when when E3 happened. Well, that's because a lot of them were like triple information because Elden Ring came up in everyone. Like, obviously I got 85 Elden Rings and 85 Guardian stuff. So
yeah, that's about.
But the one day I woke up, it was like 500 pings. I was like, I should fix that.
Yeah,
I should definitely not let that happen. But this one is okay. It's made by Square Enix, it's actually made by Crystal Dynamics, who are making the Avengers game. Makes you think that this is probably in the same universe. What yada yada. Only disappointment that I have about it is you don't get to play as any of the other characters. You play as Star-Lord, which I think for a story narrative it makes sense. It sounds like this is like the Guardians of the Galaxy forming.
Yeah,
like their start, because at one point in the trailer and in the demo, Quill says, Gamora, you can't kill your teammates. It's in your contract. They make that joke, which I don't know. I'm interested just because I want to see it. Looks cool.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that one plays. Just because it seems like it'll be you controlling the other AIs too, like directing them.
Which they showed that off with like having Drax throw Rocket across the ledge. Cool. The other thing, your favorite, Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora. It's
another humans bad, aliens in touch with the environment good.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, Guardians releases in October 26th of this year.
That's not too far away.
No. This game releases the Avatar game releases in 2022. The films still no.
James Cameron's gonna die without finishing any of those.
No idea. We got new Smash Brothers DLC, which is just Tekken's Kazua, or how do you say it? I don't know. Kazua. I never played Tekken, so I don't really know anything about this character. There's a lot of him throwing people off of a cliff, so I'm assuming there's a joke there. We got Halo Infinite news.
I heard about that.
That's coming out holiday 2021, and they kind of like deep dived more into like the Infinite multiplayer because that's free to play. If you didn't know. They promise no pay to win. The cool thing with this is there's battle passes, as there would be because it's free to play.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is you can buy old battle passes. So like I don't know if that's ever been a thing I've wished I could do. Is like, oh man, I missed that battle pass.
If it had guns or skins or something you wanted in it.
Yeah. So I mean, I get.
And a lot of battle passes tend to have tend to have some of the currency you use in the game to buy things in them.
Right.
So,
I don't know if you played this on your Switch or not, but Mario plus Rabbids.
Yeah, I actually brought that up recently to some friends. It is probably my favorite Mario game.
So
it's so fun.
Get ready because second one is announced. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, 2022. But they had a whole.
I never finished it.
They had a trailer for that. Then the devs behind Dishonored, Arcane Studios, Dishonored and Prey, they showed off that they have an open
Kingdom Battle is what the one was called.
They have an open world game called Redfall, which is like a 4-player co-op.
Yeah,
this one's kind of cool. It looks it looks interesting just because of like all you get to pick between 4 characters and they all have different abilities, and it looks like it's really heavily around like working together as a team.
Yeah.
So that seems pretty cool. Weird. This was a weird surprise to me, but Borderlands is getting a spin-off. They're getting a spin-off game called Tiny Tina's Wonderful Wonderlands, which looks like it's going to be kind of like a spin-off set, like with the fantasy setting that she played in the one DLC, Assault on Dragon Keep. Forza Horizon 5 was announced and has a release date of November 9th. Looks pretty good. And then me and you, I think you and I both agreed we got excited for this. The Outer Worlds 2 was probably one of the most meta trailers I've ever seen a video game take. But the thing is,
they called all those other trailers out.
Yes. So it was so like, this was the game to do it though, because the whole game's premise is like a meta commentary on a lot of stuff.
It is a meta, but it's really funny to me is the whole game is a meta commentary on big business and how it will eat you alive.
Right.
But it's made by a company owned by Microsoft.
Yeah. Well, do you remember that I said that the story I told you that I think I even talked about on this podcast? Elon Musk wants to practically do this because he had the idea is like, we're going to fly people to Mars, but basically they'll have to work to live there. Yeah. So it's like they basically will work for me,
which is
while
like
they colonize Mars.
Like, yeah, duh. If you fly to Mars, it's gonna be you're not gonna be sitting in a hotel room relaxing. Like it's gonna be a lot of work.
Yeah, which is like basically like a whole story. The first planet you go to in the Outer Worlds. That's like the whole deal.
Live to work.
Yeah. So if you're what we're saying about the commentary thing, the whole trailer is just like a bunch of like these slow scenes of a planet. And like there's an announcer on it, and at the end, like it's basically calling us like the old joke of it is like, why would you announce or release a trailer for a video game?
Well, because the whole
don't have gameplay for the video.
The whole trailer's going, and it's the announcer saying what all the game trailers do is like, here's a sweeping shot of landscape.
Yes,
the blong sound means that we're about to see a bunch of soldiers soldiers fighting some monsters or something.
It's like, and then all this needs is a title.
and here we see the villain, the hero, but only the silhouette because they haven't designed them yet.
Yeah.
And here's the only thing they know is the title.
It was a very clever trailer.
Yeah. I loved it.
Next on the list I have is Rainbow Six Extraction.
Is that like Siege?
So it kind of is. It's the Siege characters, but this is more of a like PvE aspect of it.
Okay.
The interesting part of this is like this one is really around being a part of a team, working together with your different abilities. My girl Ella is in it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play it, and obviously because I really love Rainbow Six. But the funny thing is, I was like, man, I don't remember ever hearing about Rainbow Six Extraction. That's because they had to change its name. It used to be called Rainbow Six Quarantine. Obviously, probably not the best. Whoopsies. Yeah. Big whoopsies. But that one's releasing on September 16th. So
this thing already has a Wikipedia page.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Originally known as Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Quarantine.
Yeah. So looks really good. I'm pretty pumped to see it. The other thing on the news was kind of a bigger surprise just because it's odd knowing what happened with Disney and Johnny Depp and everything. I guess that they figure that they're like, nah, we can remember Johnny Depp now. Because Sea of Thieves is getting a massive crossover update, which looks like a single player story. Sea of Thieves and Pirates of the Caribbean are doing a crossover. Jack Sparrow, voiced by actual Johnny Depp, is in it. And it was revealed at the Xbox Showcase. The game is called Sea of Thieves, A Pirate's Life, and it has an all-new story featuring Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean. Davy Jones will also appear in this free update, and it releases June 22nd.
Okay.
So a couple days.
Yeah, I did hear about some of that. This Extraction was cool. I remember playing a lot of Siege, so.
Yeah, it's super exciting. I'm super excited. We got so another big news is like Babylon's Fall, PlayStation 5 version of this game was announced. I don't know what this is, but apparently it's been out in a while. Diablo 2 Resurrected had a release date announcement for September 23rd. And that's pretty much it. I don't think I have anything else that was like noteworthy to me.
No.
Yeah.
Text me your whole list.
Okay.
That way I don't have to type it all out and find the trailers later.
Here. It's literally on an article.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so E3, the winner was Future Us, is what you're saying. The 2022 Us.
Right. The one thing that was kind of a disappointment, at least to me, and I think a few other people agree, is like there was no mention or talk about with like the shortages that were going on with like chipsets and everything.
Yeah.
In a world we're living in a world where it seems like
In a world.
yeah. So right now, I mean, obviously you can't buy a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox or even graphics cards for that matter, without dealing with bots. And every time there's new stock, it gets immediately sold out, and barely enough people. Now, granted, people still get consoles, but not as many as there should be versus the bots. And what it seems to be happening, or at least what is kind of like has been silently confirmed, is that where the original theory that these shortage problems were going to end during the summer, and during the fall we would have it. It looks like we're going to be dealing with that for the year. So,
well, because it's impacting so many industries. It's not just computers; it's cars.
Exactly. Right. And that's the thing that people need to really understand. And I understand the frustration. Like, I get it.
Well, yeah.
Originally, before I decided I was going to stay on PC and just jump to PC like exclusively, I was trying to buy a PlayStation 5, and I may still buy one in the future
when God of War comes out, probably.
Yeah, that or Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
But the way that Sony's doing it, that's another thing. It's been rumored that Ragnarok will not be a PlayStation exclusive. It is also coming to PC.
Ooh, that would be really cool.
Right. So,
next thing, NHL. Please put the NHL games on PC. I want to play them, but I just cannot be bothered to hook my PlayStation up to anything. I want to play them so badly.
Yeah. So, listen, I understand the frustration. I get it, man. I'm still rocking 1070 right now.
Yeah.
Not a TI, a 1070. And I'm playing like Avengers and stuff. So, every time my computer starts up a game, it sounds like it's begging for me to kill it. Should take it out back and shoot it. So,
yeah.
Listen, I know the pain, but we all need to kind of be patient, stick together in this, because I mean, what else? What other option do you have? You want to spend $2,000 on a graphics card? Is that what you want to do? Like, do you want to buy? I mean, and if you do, I personally think that that's the wrong move, because you're doing what you shouldn't be for these scalpers. You're giving them reason to keep doing it. But if that's what you got to do, like, hey man, no hate. I just know what I would personally not want to do. But I understand. Listen, try your, be safe out there. This world sucks right now, and we're in a real weird place. But guess what? Theaters are opened. Our movie theater is opened. So maybe, if you're free tomorrow, or in this case, 2 days from now, if you're with us live, I had an idea. We should go, since we haven't been to the movies in over a year and a half now.
Ooh.
We should go back to the movies.
Let's do it.
So,
can we hold hands while we watch the movie?
For sure.
Okay.
Like we did for Cats. And I'll constantly wipe my eyes for the tears that were coming out from what apparently was my eyes were mad at me for trying to watch this film.
I just kept wiping my eyes when we were watching that, because I had been awake for like 36 hours when we went and saw it.
Right. Well, remember my eyes kept watering. Like I thought I was getting pink eye.
I don't remember much about it.
Oh, well.
I think I blocked it out.
Well, remember the theater was empty, and these two elderly women came in, and instead of going to any of the thousands of open seats, they walked all the way up and sat next to us.
Yeah.
Or I was like, well, that's interesting. But my eyes kept watering so bad that because you were sort of running late, I think, or you weren't late, or I just got there early. It looked like I was crying, so people thought that I got stood up.
Which would be understandable if you asked a girl to take you to go see Cats with you. I can understand why she would stand you up.
Right. Well, I thought you were going to say why I would be crying, but okay. Yeah. Right. So Yeah, because and the whole halfway through the whole film, I had a tissue constantly up against one of my eyes. So people probably thought I was crying. I was like, this movie's so beautiful.
All you got to fall back on is they ruined it.
Well, that's what I was like, man, people either think that I hate this film so much that it's ruined my childhood, like I'm crying, or I love it so much that I'm crying.
Yeah. There's no in between.
But yeah, so we'll check again, make sure what movies are out. I think it's going to be the
Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
Yeah, I think we're going to go see that, and we'll give a review for that.
Yeah, we will.
We'll be one of the late, but yeah.
That's fine.
Hopefully Zach can go. And then next week we can talk about that. Perfect. I have nothing else to talk about today, man.
I don't either.
I feel like it's
been a while.
How long is it?
An hour. So
we're almost an hour. So
we are an hour.
Okay.
So yeah, thank you all for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
If you want to find us, you can Pop Culture Unboxing, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Right.
You can find me, Matt MR94 on Twitter. Or no, Matt Ross VO.
I was gonna say what's MR?
No, it's not. It was mine.
Is that a secret account?
No, it was the account's name before I changed it.
That's your like.
Now it's Matt Ross VO because I want to get my last name.
Is that your docs account? That's how you dox people.
So yeah, you can follow me on there and Twitch, Jan Jingle. I'm never on there, but I might be.
Yeah, you'll be you stream with me.
Yeah.
When I ask you to play games with me, you stream.
Yeah.
So you can find me on Twitch. I'm actually way more active now that I have somehow found the niche that gets me lots of viewership. So now I have fans.
Nice.
So yeah, you'll see me on Twitch. Currently at Riki Tiki 252 RIKITIKI 252.
Mm-hmm.
So come on over.
Yeah. What about any other places?
Starting a Discord.
Ooh, there you go.
That's same thing on Twitter. I'm trying to think of funny, clever names. I keep trying to, for some reason, because I was going to originally make my Discord an Avengers thing, I was going to call it the Children of the Infinite Stone, because I was like, oh, that's so clever. That sounds sick. But I was like, no. So I'm still working on the Discord name. But,
okay. And then if you want to find the guy who's missing, if you go on Twitch, it's, what is it?
Not Twitch.
Or not Twitch, on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's green. What is it? Little Leaf.
Yeah, it's Little Leaf.
Little Leaf with an LIEF with an underscore because, quote, he is not a middle-aged Brazilian woman, unquote.
I cannot confirm or deny that.
Me either. Thank you all for listening.
Either? Is that a McDonald's? I'm sorry.
Me either.
You said Mickey. I was just like, what the? What?
Thank you for listening. I love you.
The McDonald's version of you. Bye-bye, everybody.